say it with me. It's a feel good Friday. And what could be better than coming off of a international hockey win? Our boys bringing it home. McDavid telling them what's up and us claiming hockey supremacy one more time. It's a great day to be Canadian. I don't give a crap what anyone says. I don't give a crap who our leader is. I don't care who the leading party is. Screw them. Screw everybody. I love being Canadian. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter what happens that allows them to make me feel ashamed of being Canadian, today is not going to be that day. No. Screw Trudeau, screw his tweets, screw the Liberal Party, screw Mark Carney, screw everybody. I don't care about any of them because right now I feel good. And we're going to talk about some great things that you should feel good about too. Obviously, first thing, it is crazy what happened last night, right? Last night started with Chantel deciding that she's going to change the lyrics to our national anthem. And that's something that I was like, oh my gosh, stop touching our anthem. For goodness sakes, have some dang respect. Especially when it says a representative confirmed in an email to CBC News that I'm not even going to try and disrespect her with trying to pronounce her last name. Chantel intentionally saying that only us command instead of in all our sons command to protest the rhetoric from U.S. President Donald Trump. Oh my gosh. Shut up. I was like, oh my God. At the point, I wasn't totally terribly annoyed because I was in a bar at the time. Couldn't fully hear what she did. All I could hear was the constant shift in tones of her really trying to make it her own. And I was like, okay, let's move on. They're already booing our anthem. At this point, they're booing you for how bad you did our anthem at this point. That's for how I feel about that. So that ends up happening. Then we take to the ice, right? Game on. It goes back and forth. We end up going to overtime. McDavid buries it. Oh, baby. Here we go. And this is what was really telling to me. There's a content creator that I've grown to really like over the years, Steve Dangle. Covers the Leafs, covers hockey. And but it was really interesting and it was really telling to see his reaction to McDavid scoring that goal because it really showed me the divisiveness and the rhetoric that Trudeau has really infused our nation with. A man who really covers sports, showing that the politics really bothered him too.
Marner. McDavid alone in front. Scores! He scores! Connor McDavid ends it in overtime. Connor McDavid alone in front. Connor McDavid. Canada wins it in overtime in the United States. You will never have this country and you will never have that trophy. 97 buries it. Never, ever forget who runs this. Is that from Marner? The tournament winning goal, Connor McDavid from Mitch Marner. Come on!
You thought I was loud yesterday, then there you go. That will wake you up, shouldn't it? So, love Steve Dangle, love the passion he brings to the sport of hockey. I love watching him mainly do meltdowns when the Leafs lose every year, primarily. But it was interesting to kind of see him talk about this and seeing his visceral reaction to McDavid scoring. And being, you will never, ever own our country. We will never be the 51st state. And that was really kind of a tell in terms of like culture and politics meeting, right? And this shows you kind of where people are at on all this 51st state rhetoric. Do I think Donald Trump is completely and utterly innocent in all this? No. I really think it's been unhelpful, and especially for those who are trying to get this party out of power, not been helpful for us in our case right now. Because now we have this Liberal Party who's feigning patriotism all of a sudden, and everyone's traded their Ukraine flags in for Canadian ones all of a sudden. And so that is really kind of the frustrating part. It's like, oh, now they really are buying this whole and eating this whole Mark Carney stuff up, right? So that's been like the part I'm like, oh, just please shut up. It's not helping us right now. It's not helping us. But mainly you see just the utter pain and frustration people are feeling in this country towards Donald Trump shows me how Trudeau has also done a great job of taking that beautiful silver platter that Trump has given him and then infusing Canada with that division and seeing the visceral reaction from so many across this country today over that and seeing how big of a win it was. And the only thing I was telling Reg, we're sitting beside each other last night, and I was like, the only thing I I want to win. I really want to win. Because politics aside, it never feels good to get little broed by the United States. It doesn't, especially when it comes to hockey. You're just like, I don't care. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear any of it. But I would turn to Reg and I was like, the only thing that stinks about us winning is the fact that the Liberals are going to take this on their victory laps on continuum throughout for the next forever. And that's the only one I'm like, shut. I don't want to hear Trudeau. I don't want to hear Mark Carney. I don't want to hear anyone from the Liberal cabinet. I just stop talking. Like, that's the only thing I'm not looking forward to. But it really just showed that because of the division and the issues that are happening between both countries, it really did resonate and come as a culmination in this hockey game. We even see it from the comments made by John Cooper, who said it in a very Canadian way, alluded to it in such a way, post-game comments, saying, I just hope Canada's proud because every player in that room is proud to be a Canadian. And yeah, we needed a win. Not only our team, but Canada needed a win. And the players bared that on their shoulders. This one was different. This wasn't a win for themselves. This was a win for 40 plus million people, and the guys knew it, and they delivered. And he's not wrong. Everyone has their different reasons for needing the win. I've been sick and tired of seeing a certain political party run our country in the ground, so I needed the win. I definitely needed the morale boost personally. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Canada, let's go. It was very exciting, especially being in a bar with everybody cheering and clapping. It was great. It was fantastic. But yes, we did need the win. And it was interesting kind of knowing that the players and the coaches, they recognized it too. Mainly Canadian players really tried to really best to leave that behind them. But, they carried it with them. They definitely did. And it was fantastic. And it was a great spectacle to watch. Because I still stand by the statement I made a couple weeks ago, where I said, this starts in 9 days. With all the videos of Canadians booing the American anthem, I have a hunch this will feel more than just hockey this time around. I disagree with all the screw America rhetoric, but have to admit it will make for a great sporting spectacle, and that it very much did. But shifting again, our focus back to politics. It's a feel-good Friday, folks. I'm telling you, we got to keep the good news coming. We had this drop on us, where our Canadian government finally admitting that the drug crisis is actually a problem.
This morning, we are announcing that the Government of Canada is listing 7 transnational criminal organizations as terrorist entities under Canada's Criminal Code. Transnational criminal organizations, including cartels, play a leading role in the production and distribution of fentanyl throughout Canada. These listed entities are organized crime groups that spread fear in local populations by using methods of extreme violence and are known for drug trafficking, human trafficking, and trafficking in illegal guns.
So after gaslighting us for so long, we're finally forced to admit that this has been a serious issue and that they're finally tackling it. We love to see it. It is so great to see. But more so, the big win to me was the RCMP acknowledging the issue at hand.
Thank you, Minister. I can confirm that we do have intelligence that different cartels operate in Canada. There's also strong intelligence that Canadians have actually moved to Mexico and South America to facilitate the transport of certain commodities into Canada. So we are aware of it.
What about the 2 street gangs that you included in there as well?
The street gangs, it's the same. The intel picture is very similar. And what's interesting, going back to Catherine's question with regards to what this does, is there's a lot of organized crime groups that are not listed that feed in from the Mexican organized crime group. So if you are supporting an organized crime group that is now listed, you're part of that, and you could be charged under the terrorism legislation.
This is awesome. Josh, what do you mean it's awesome? We're talking about all the cartels and stuff that are going on in this country. That's not awesome. No, it is amazing. Because it means they've acknowledged the problem. They're starting to try to go after the problem. And do you know what is really awesome about this? Is that we know guys like Sam Cooper and others in independent media have been shouting this from the rooftops for so long. And that with the help and pressure from the Donald Trump government south of the border, we were forced to acknowledge the issues and that have been so long but prolonged in our country for so very long. Too long, they would say at this point. The fact that you're now admitting there's transnational crime going on, that the fact there is cartels facilitating the move and movement of drugs in our country, and the fact that our banks are facilitating and allowing it to happen. What happens is calling these groups what they are and acknowledging them as terrorist organizations means they cannot, no company, no entity in Canada can do business with them, or they will be severely penalized. And so obviously the people who are a little bit more negative Nancy's will say, oh, we'll see about that. And that's true. We'll see about that. But that is a good step forward. And do you know what it also means? It's a good step forward for independent media. Because we knew the MSM wasn't talking about this. No, of course they weren't. They wouldn't acknowledge this was ever a problem because they are obviously paid by the government. So this shows the pressure that's been put on by independent media, along with the help and pressure from Donald Trump. We are finally acknowledging this as an issue. We are finally tackling this as a problem. This is good. It is a feel-good Friday, folks. And last but not least, another big lab bust taking place in BC. The Vernon North Okanagan RCMP is currently conducting an ongoing investigation into a suspected clandestine lab on a rural property. And I'm not going to try and pronounce that. The investigation was initiated earlier this week when officers attended a property on Reservoir Road and observed materials that suggested to them the possible presence of a drug lab. As a result, a search warrant was obtained and executed, leading to the discovery of further evidence consistent with the production of drugs. It's expected there will be continued police presence at the property for several more days, states Constable Chris Terleski, Media Relations Officer for the Vernon North Okanagan RCMP. At this time, there is no immediate risk to the safety of the public. The RCMP Federal Clandestine Laboratory Enforcement and Response Team is deployed and is assisting in assessing and safely processing the scene. This is a good thing. We're going after the issues. We're starting to see movement on it. This is fantastic. And it means that people like you, supporting shows like us, supporting journalists like Sam Cooper, is making such a difference in this country. And we need to keep moving forward on it. Keep pushing forward, because we still got a long ways to go, but we can celebrate the wins as they come. Whether it be on the ice, or whether it be busting crap in our neighborhoods, or trying to clean up the mess that's in Ottawa, this is a good thing, and we will keep putting the pressure on. Enjoy your Friday, folks. Have a good one. I'm out.